The Grappling Hour is brought to you by No Gi BJJ Gear. Use the promotional code GrapplingHour15 to save 15% off of whatever you put in your cart. And Dodgy Collective. Dodgy Collective, creating jiu-jitsu gear for those who love to train after a hard day's work and for those who live the jiu-jitsu lifestyle from their mom's couch. That's actually what it says. I'm reading it verbatim. Anyway, go buy from them. What is up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Raph Esparza. Guess what? It's the end of the year. So just like every other show, we're going to give away some meaningless awards. That's right. You're tuning in right now to hear probably your name being called. And if you aren't called, maybe you need to ask yourself what you didn't do. But first and foremost, let's give some love to our sponsors. That is NoGiBJJGear.com. Use a promotional code GrapplingHour15 to save, what's that? 15% off of whatever you put in your cart. Also give some love to our friends over at DodgyCollective.com. Also, our friends over at Manscaped. Use the promo code VerbalTap20 to take 20% off of whatever you use to keep your balls looking nice. That's what the copy says. That's what we say. Gents, ladies, I'm very excited about this particular episode because we have amassed a spectacular panel that we're going to go through line by line and introduce each one of them individually. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to one, Freddy Pedrique from BJJ World. Freddy, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me on. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for asking. Also joining the show, we have Kevin Bradley from the Jiu-Jitsu Times Podcast.
Doing better now, Raph. Thanks for having me on.
Let's go on over to G-Baby from the Cover Your Mouth, which is rebranding. G-Baby, what's the name of the show now?
No, it's going to be Cover Your Mouth still. I'm just changing the top, like the genre. So it's going to be more about like martial arts and comedy combined, just because I feel like just comedy is just kind of bland.
Fair enough.
But thank you for having me.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you four gentlemen here on the show. Oh, hold on. I am noticing I actually have another guest. I wasn't necessarily planning on this, but let me go and see if we pulled on. Joining me as well, my co-host from Verbal Tap, Kevin Phillips. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm actually texting my agent to make sure my writer in fact says I will not appear on a show with another good-looking Kevin on it. And it does, Raph. It says it. What's going on? You've got a charisma guy. You've got a Giancarlo, but a Kevin with a jawline? It's Christmas.
He's the younger Kevin. I needed to go and reboot you, so I decided to reach out to... He's not taking your place, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah,
Kevin,
just a cameo now.
Hey, listen, you weren't supposed to find out this way, and this isn't really professional, but I do have a lot of respect for you, and if you had any notes for me, you know, to make the transition easier, I'd be willing to hear them.
I actually do have a note. Pause off my co-host, Kevin. Go back to the Times.
Hey, Raph, if you want to take care of this.
This is the type of quality internet television that people want. What I want to tell you guys is, today we're celebrating the best in all of jiu-jitsu. And what we did was we broke these things down into several categories. Each of the gentlemen here will give a cheers, a toast, that we normally do on our fight companions, to those that we feel did exceptional work within the realm of grappling, jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to call it. Whatever Danaher tells us we're supposed to say, we'll just say the Japanese version of it. But first and foremost, we are going to start this year off by talking about who was the choice heel of 2020. And we're going to go ahead and start with Freddy. Freddy, who do you have for this year's best heel?
All right, guys. Well, let's raise our glass to the wonderful heel that was Tex Johnson. Not only did he slap a kid on national television, but he said it was an accident. And just like Bill Clinton said, I did not sleep with that woman. I don't think he really hit William Tackett. So the best heel of the year for me has to go to Tex Johnson. Cheers to you, buddy.
Okay, let's be very clear. That happened in 2019. I know it because I
No way. No, he hit somebody this year because I was on the car with Craig.
I mean, he might hit somebody again. I just can't tell you.
Are you sure it wasn't Tackett?
Bro, I was
Freddie, that was a
drunk.
Denny's waitress. You did that.
We got out to a great start. I really thought he hit
Mom, beer. Thank you.
Kev, did you just yell at your mom to beer you right now?
Yeah, I'm 35. Go on. I was running out of beer for the toast, so I just
Fair enough. Kev,
was walking by.
Do you have somebody for this year's best heel of 2020?
I do. Follow me. It's a concept thing. People who already grappled in masks. I'm looking at you, Mexican wrestlers, you founding fucking fathers. Cheers.
Orale.
All right, G-Baby, who do you have for this year's heel of the year?
I have to go with fellow 10th Planet teammate Kyle Bame. He literally talks shit about every grappler on Instagram as much as Gordon Ryan does, and literally faced Gordon Ryan on shrooms, which I respect. Did he win? No. Was it entertaining? Of course. So cheers to you, Kyle Bame.
Bradley, who do you have for this year's heel of the year?
All right. In a year that has managed to disappoint, only one jiu-jitsu athlete rose above the standards and managed to surprise us with a disappointing performance that transcended the year. Of course, I'm talking about Herbert Santos, the man with an AK-47 tattooed on his chest and who will threaten to punch your mom in the mouth. This guy puts himself out there. He's the hardest guy since fucking Diamonds. And yet, what does he do when he faces Felipe Pena? Verbally taps to mount. That is the ultimate heel move.
Well, hold on. That's good business for us over here right now. I just want to make it very clear. Bad business for everybody else is good business for Verbal Tap hashtag.
This segment brought to you by Verbal Tap. Enter Verbal Tap 15 into Manscaped or NogiBJJ.com.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I was.
You're good.
What? Oh, thank you.
So yeah, this is a guy who calls out every name in the phone book, you know, famously Mikey last year, never materializes anything. And the minute he has a chance to actually back up anything he says, he fucking beefs it in a way that just flies in the face of what it means to be like a black belt or even a blue belt. Like that's the ultimate troll heel move, in my opinion. So to you, Herbert Santos, this is a cheers. And I hope I never have to talk about you again.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
Big dick energy for sure.
Can't prove that. All right. My toast is pretty simple for this year's heel of the year. And it's so simple, I can't believe any of you really didn't get this one. But my cheers goes on out to the goddamn coronavirus. God damn it. You ruined everything for us. You've taken everything I've worked hard for, you motherfucker. And I'm just saying this. I wasn't getting good at leg locks, but I could have gotten good at leg locks. You dick. Cheers and fuck off to you. That was the hardest part about this one in particular was I was like, we're cheering the heels? I haven't worked that part out. The next one's a little bit easier to kind of figure out. And that is, who do we need to look out for in 2021? Kevin, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, I have Keith Gregorian because he seems angry. He seems like he watched Umbrella Academy 2 or 3 times, and really it resonated. So look out, world. He's coming for your butts and your feet.
Now he's knocked out a motherfucker, too.
Yeah, that's true. Now he's gotten a taste of the up-handed palm swing. You don't go back.
Keith definitely had that Anakin, like, well, so much power in this hand. Oh, man, I'm going to slap a bitch now. Oh. Let's go on over to, let's say, G-Baby for this one.
I got to go with the last guest. Not the last guest, but the one before. It was supposed to be the last fight companion of 2020, Alan Sanchez, man. The Afro Samurai, I had to go with him. He, even though he's so innocent, he's so humble. He is a killer. So cheers to you, Alan, and 10P for L. I'm biased.
Our man G-Money's 2 for 2 on 10 peers, and I'm here for it. I hope every one of his picks is a 10th Planet person because that's what I expect now.
Absolutely. Bradley, who do you got? Who do we need to look out for in 2021?
I'm actually going to make a change on the fly because this is a name that.
Fuck, we didn't talk about this bullshit.
Other Kevin, am I right, Raph? Am I right?
It's only because the conversations have made me realize that I'm very much neglected someone right in my backyard who's had an incredible performance as of late, and it seems like he's only going to get better. Mr. Steve Joachim of Studio 84 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just got promoted to his purple belt. Several standout appearances at nationals and Fight to Win. The guy's training in a room full of killers, and with the vacuum kind of left by the Danaher Death Squad guys all going down to Puerto Rico, it seems like we're going to see a lot more talent start to make waves in the area. So, Mr. Joachim, you're always very nice to me, and you got a jawline like a fucking anvil. So, here's to you. Have a good 2021.
Cheers, indeed.
Cheers.
All right. Well, of course, my person to look out for. Wait, Freddie, did you do one?
I'm not.
Oh, anyway, my person to look out for this year is going to be one Hunter Coleman. Hey, Hunter is a beast, dude, and I know we just watched this whole Submission Underground 20, and he didn't win here, but I gotta tell you, man, how cool is it that this man gave up so much weight, so much everything to one Gabe Gonzaga, and still, from start to finish, was trying to give you something to watch. So he is definitely somebody who I think you need to keep an eye out for, and I look forward to seeing him do even bigger and better things within the next year. Cheers to you, Hunter. Anyway, moving on. Let's just go to our next category, right? Because we got everybody. Anyway,
Hey,
just kidding.
Raph,
Freddie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kevin, what's
Oh,
up?
you are going to give Freddie a chance? I hope he sings it. But after him, can I button mine up? I kind of got a family thing. I yelled at my mom a few minutes ago. You probably heard that. Someone's going to apologize.
Really talk about that. Is that the normal voice that you talk to your mother in?
No, it is not. It is. I think the moment carried away. I was trying to impress my friends on camera. He brought in another Kevin, Richie.
Freddie, you give us yours, and then we got to bulletproof our way through Kevin Phillips's picks. But Freddie, you go first.
All right. Well, someone who I think you guys should look out for in 2021, and not necessarily because I think they'll do anything great in the mats or in any competition in general, but I think you should look out for Isaac Michel because he could be found couch surfing on your sofa, even on your own bed without you even noticing and just living there for a couple months, you know, and be with this good, lucky, being happy self you just allow it to happen. I think you should look out for him, and if you find him, send them back to Australia because I think they're actually looking for him. So here's to my very good pal, Isaac Mitchell.
Hold on, did you just deport him? Is that what you were trying to do towards the end of it?
Yeah, dude, I think he has to go back to where he's from, bro.
I don't know.
Is there a
that
reward?
that.
Hold on.
Oh,
I
good
can
call.
find out.
Kev, this is confusing to me because we haven't gone through the other.
Yeah.
So
sorry. Let me just clip mine in here real quick. I'm going to start with best match of the year and just run it right down if that works.
sure.
Perfect. Best match of the year: Brianna St. Marie versus Pearl Gonzalez at the Female Flyweight Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. It was the most electric event of 2020. Grappler of the year goes to those people who tackled the guy in the plane that wouldn't wear the mask. I feel like that was April. You remember. Rivalry of the year is similar. It's just grapplers versus science, fact, and political reason. It was a fun one in 2020, but things have really heated up. Okay, submission of the year. Raph, I'm already bored. I can't do this anymore. This is like a less interesting census.
I know. Well, do you have other categories or anything else that you want to go ahead and give some acknowledgments to then?
Let's go with non-submission of the year. How about that? The Danaher Death Squad going to Puerto Rico. New York called. You think you're better than them? Get out of here. They're going to be fine. They have Jay-Z. What's next? Moment of the year. Okay, when was this photo of MMA fighter Drew Dober taken? Because that's my moment of the year.
Why is that a moment of the year, Kev?
Look at it. Just look at it. Let's go. Breakout Star. Yeah. Puerto Rico, I think, right? I mean, they're stealing everybody now. And I'm going to go with William Tackett. And I want to say something about Will Tackett. Big Willie Tack Tack. Middle Willie Tack Tack. Whatever. Better than Keenan now and is the most electrifying young grappler on the planet. aliens will visit years from now. 4 wise men will come back next Christmas and agree with me. And I am saying this because it's truth. I might owe Sir William Tackett a gentleman's agreement because when he came on Verbal Tap, he beat me like a drum in a betting game. That doesn't matter. It's the truth. And as soon as the vote comes back Nevada, it will confirm Big Willie Tack Tack. Let's go. Most unexpected moment of 2020. This panel, I think, is hitting me right in the gut that I would be replaced right as we hit the new year. What's our last one? Unsung hero of 2020. I'm going to go with Gary Tonin. Those videos.
Okay.
Cheers.
Okay.
Cheers.
Kevin,
Cheers.
cheers indeed. We already took too much of your time. I don't want to take you from your family. Thank you for barreling through the categories. People didn't know that we were... Well, you know what? They knew we were going to do these categories anyway. Kevin Phillips, we appreciate you. We're glad you're here. I'll see you probably tomorrow to do one of these for somebody else where we go make fun of other people. And if you like what we do here, go catch us on Verbal Tap. Our year in review will be with our good friend New York Rick, who, by the way, confirmed. So this is my way of letting
Hey, well, tell him I defended New York when we talked to him, and I genuinely like this panel. So can we do something together with this crew soon?
Yes.
Put it on the books.
Super down.
I'll bring him back for a future installment, but our thanks to our good friend Kevin Phillips. Kevin, go get drunk and enjoy yourself, my friend.
Already that will do.
I am prepared for us to go to another event, which is going to be, this is a category called Most... what is this? Unsung Hero of 2020. And you know what, G-Baby? You've been so quiet. You've been so patient. We're going to go to you first.
I gotta go with my island, Puerto Rico, man. They were the perfect getaway. You got tax incentives. You know, you don't have to pay that much taxes. Gordon Ryan saw it. He's not going to attack the politics there. He's going to be so frustrated. But yeah, cheers to you, Puerto Rico. I miss you. And finally, you're going to get some good jiu-jitsu.
You were known as the best Puerto Rican grappler there was until, you know, they showed up. So,
well, I got to say I'm the most violent blue belt of the Southwest now that Carlos Condit's purple now.
Let's continue this trend. Kevin, you go next, sir.
Yeah, when we were thinking of this, it's really hard to think of a name that isn't Mason Fowler, and I know he's already been mentioned on this show, but you can't have the year he's had and not think the guy absolutely broke into another tier of fame. But after defeating Craig Jones, one of the best grapplers currently alive, defending the belt against him, and now subsequently defending it against a murderer's row of competitors. You know, Ryan Bader isn't a joke. He just defended it earlier this night against him. So, Mr. Fowler, you're an incredible performer, and you grow a mean mustache, sir. So, salute to you.
Freddy, who do you have, sir?
Guys, in a year where we needed so many heroes and so many came up and stepped up and did everything they needed to do, the one that never got the true praise that he needed for giving us everything we needed when our Tinder date wasn't showing up anymore because she didn't want to come because of like the coronavirus. You know, everything was locked down. The gym was closed. You were bored at the house. You didn't know what to do. But this man gave you the best entertainment in the world. My unsung hero of 2020 is Jordan Pietzman for keeping us entertained with his chair jitsu and just like taking the nation by storm with what I think was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I think he should go down in the Hall of Fame as one of the greatest jiu-jitsu people of all time, right next to Helio Gracie. This was to you, Jordan.
Cheers.
Are we sure we want to give that much praise over to this? Because that could be a mental health problem that we're just kind of acknowledging and just
Hey, you gotta be a little insane to spark that greatness, right? There it is.
I would
Look at Gary Tonin.
I'm going to continue that trend, and I'm going to go ahead and give an acknowledgement. This one goes for our unsung hero of 2020. That is curtains or blacked out windows. Because is jiu-jitsu really happening if you kind of can't see it? I don't think so. So we just want to thank them for allowing our places to remain safe and inconspicuous at times of uncertainty. Thank you so much, curtains and blacked out windows, of which no jiu-jitsu is happening at all. Right, guys?
Just CrossFit.
Now let's get into the most unexpected moment of 2020. Let's continue this. Kevin, you start us off, sir.
this year sucked so much. Remember when a celebrity would die and that was like enough to say, oh man, this whole year sucks? The bar is so low. The bar is so high now. A lot happened this year that wasn't expected by anybody, but I think the biggest and most long-lasting change to the jiu-jitsu community would be the Danaher Death Squad's move to Puerto Rico. It's a mass exodus of a ton of high-level guys from one area of the world to another. And I think that we're going to see a lot of things. I think we're going to see more names rise up from in the Northeast to sort of fill that spot. Henzo might even have to teach some classes every now and then. And I can't go to New York now. But yeah, I think that the way they announced it, it was sudden, it was complete, like they're all going, and so yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Freddie, how do you take that? You're an RGA guy.
Breaks are unbeatable. Go loopholes, baby. Go loopholes.
Oh, speaking of which, I didn't recognize that the whole bottom part of this show, like the bottom half here, is all, Puerto Rican friendly. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm Venezuelan. That's just
same thing.
But yeah.
All right. So
continue on. Your brother, bro.
G baby, tell us who you got for this.
I have to go with the most unexpected moment in 2020 is Rafael dos Anjos and Donald Cerrone going double overtime. The first time, man, I have to say, RDA did a Brazilian tap, and Cerrone he spec the tap. He spec the tap, and he let go really early, and he finished not too early. So then the next time it was overtime. The second overtime, Cerrone finished it, bro. But I have to give it to the ref, bro, because all refs make the right decisions all the time.
Can we go back? Okay, I'm gonna cheers that. That's fine. Did that get into like Mario Luigi sort of territory with Super Mario Brothers?
He spec the top, and he let go early, and he finished
because I know it started with a certain accent, and it started. I was just very confused when you said, "Let's get a piece of pie." Toward the end.
Well, Nate's really bad at it, like impressions, so I guess that's sticking with me lately because I haven't done stand-up in so long. He'll try to do a Mexican accent, and he'll just sound Russian, and I'm like, "How the fuck did you come up with this?"
Fred, who do you have for us, sir?
Man, just like Kevin said, in a year of everything being unexpected, what is really unexpected, I would say something that I would never see. I thought I would never see is Vinny getting his leg broken on TV by Craig Jones. I think the real tragedy is giving Craig Jones more credit here. That's the real tragedy out of all this. But man, seeing him get his leg broken and continue to see him walk it off after, very unexpected. Then he said he's very flexible. I don't know, man. It doesn't add up. His foot goes one way, then he goes the other way. Unexpected. That's my most unexpected moment of 2020. When I posted that result, majority of the comments were, well, he didn't really tap, so Craig didn't really win. So I mean, did he really win? Did it really happen? Did his leg really break? I don't know.
They don't work, dude.
It's a good thing that we don't leave these awards in the hands of the comment sections of Instagram posts, because if we did, it would be even more absurd than even what we're proposing here. Ours at least has a little bit of a shape. My most unexpected moment of 2020, and if I'm being honest, I thought it was Adolfo getting submitted. Like, we become so normalized in watching him have amazing jiu-jitsu within the realm of MMA that we forgot what a beast he was, and yet he ended up getting choked out. And this is a man, if you look at his BJJ Heroes profile, does not have a ton of losses, especially submissions like that. So it was crazy to see, but still, cheers on Ora for getting that finish. So cheers on that way. We're now going to make a switch to another category. In this category, we will be talking about who we believe is this year's breakout star of 2020. Starting this one off is going to be Kevin. Kevin, hit us off.
I know you're going to hear this name a lot during this little mini retrospective. There's no way it's not Mason Fowler, you know. And I'm if it sounds like I'm fawning over him a little bit, maybe I am. The guy's done a lot worth fawning over. You know, he's established himself as a franchise star in a sport with very few franchises like Submission Underground. He's bringing a lot of eyes to the art of people wrestling with pajamas and sometimes without pajamas. So I think Mason Fowler deserves a lot of credit. So to him, I will raise this mug full of Guinness and I will say thank you, Mr. Mason Fowler, for having a great year. And again, bring back the stash. You can work. It works for you. And it doesn't work for me. So for me, please bring it back. Wear it in my honor.
Freddie, I'm going to go with you on this one. Who do you have?
You know, my breakout star of the year is up-and-coming black belt, Elizabeth Clay. She had a magnificent year, only losing 2 matches this year. And honestly, one of them was to Gabby Garcia, the greatest woman competitor of all time. And arguably, a lot of people thought that she won that. Elizabeth Young. She's very young, and I just think she has a huge future ahead of her. For me, she was definitely the breakout star this year.
That's what's up. Okay. G-Baby, who do you have?
Have to go with Cato Tolo, man. After he just finished with that buggy choke. Made a lot of people just try to attack from bottom side control. So because of him, man, a lot of people are trying to be that flexible. So cheers to you, Cade.
Let me see if I can be clear about this. I also had Mason Fowler down. And I don't want to do it now. I don't want to give him 2 of these. He's already got 1. So what's the point? I'm going to go ahead and change mine on the fly because, listen, we got G-Baby over here giving one of the Rotolo brothers a breakout star. But what about Ty? Let's think about him. How is he going to feel if he watches the show and he doesn't get the shout-out? So let's do this. Hey, young man, I know we did the interview. I know you're a beast. I know you're a great individual. So we want to make sure that we give you the proper acknowledgement to Ty Rotolo. We've been watching you just murder people in your teenage phase. We're all scared of you. We all, in some ways, don't like you because you're too good at jiu-jitsu. And yet, we can't deny that you have fully arrived, you and your brother. So cheers to you, man. The Rotolo twins, the scariest kids in the world right now.
It's facts. It's facts, dude.
They share an Instagram. That's fucking scary, bro.
Well, to be fair, they actually just got individuals themselves and are keeping that one going. Just so you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't know
Still
if that
scared.
was a secret thing because I thought it was Ty that I saw him have a separate one, and I go, oh my god, are they going solo? Like they're gonna release individual albums now? Like that's what they're gonna do? We're gonna have to get their band back together again in 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like a Hardy Boys reunion.
Oh, man.
Could be. It's a smart analogy. See, listen, someone here thinks. Thank you very much for that, G-Baby. Our next category, we are looking at this year's moment of the year. The moment of the year can be encapsulated in many things. It could be the moment that shocked our individuals. It could be the moment that captured the hearts of people who were watching grappling all around, or just some random-ass thing that any of these guys picked out just from a hat. It really is what it's coming down to. Let's go ahead and start examining this. And on this one, actually, we're going to go right back to you, Freddie, on this one.
All right, guys. Honestly, the moment of the year, this has to be it. There's no other. Whatever said after this doesn't count. The moment of the year for 2020 is watching Anthony Rumble Johnson doing sumo with Curtis Blades on Substars, which is another conversation in its own. Did I think I needed to watch that? No. But could I take my eyes off the screen? Absolutely not. Have you seen what sumo people wear? Oh, man. Look, if you haven't watched it, please go back and watch it. That's the defining moment of 2020. That's happened in February, right before COVID. That could be where it all started. Look into it. My moment of 2020, Rumble Johnson in a sumo outfit. There's to you, bud.
Let's go on over to G-Baby. G-Baby, you got this one, sir.
For me, the moment of the year has to be Gary Tonin's post-fight speech in his last ONE FC fight. I love the fact that he had a mullet, he had a handlebar mustache, tiger print shorts, and then do a Beowulf quote at the end. Jesus. Gary, this is to you. You made my day. You won the fight. But oh my god, that was the cringiest thing, and I am a huge Henry Cejudo fan, so thank you.
Wow. Okay. I might say he thought that he landed the dismount on that one, but okay, to each their own. Bradley, you got us on this.
Really quick, one thing. I accidentally misread the prompts, and my unsung hero wasn't actually Mason. It was any of the buddies out there that were cool with us practicing jiu-jitsu on them while the gyms were really closed. So all the friends that were just like, yeah, you can bend my arm the wrong way on my yoga mat in the living room. We really appreciate you guys because you kept us sane for a crucial amount of time. My moment of the year was actually watching 10th Planet standout Grace Gundrum get promoted after an amazing victory. It's not really a meme, but I love seeing the real young stars of the sport get rewarded for their effort, and to know that like the sport's going to continue long after we're all gone because of people like her and the Rotolo brothers and Nikki Ryan, like these young phenoms that are going to help lead the way. So Grace, you're one of my favorite athletes of all time. It's incredible watching you dead orchard everybody into oblivion. And it'll be an amazing. It's going to be amazing to watch your career because it's going to be a hell of a long one. And thank you for everything you do. So yeah, that's me.
Why do some of these sound like "please don't hurt me" sort of like? All these
I swear, Grace. I swear to God, I only have $5 to my name. You can have it. Don't hurt me.
$605.
605. Oh yeah, stimulus money.
I want to say, G-Baby has been waiting all show to see if he could force justify that joke, and it worked. That's the worst part of that dropping. My moment of the year goes back to Submission Underground leading the charge. Here's what I want to say. We had our doubts. We weren't sure what they were going to do, and it was at a very uncertain time. And here's what happened. It was not a perfect integration, but it was one that got our athletes not only continuously competing, but gave them an avenue for 10 events in what seemed to be about 9 months. So we have a lot of appreciation for what they were able to do, and a lot of people didn't know how they were going to put on events, but they led the charge, and they were actually the first combat sport back. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, just in terms of the legalities of it, but they got away with it. So cheers to them. And thank you very much for giving us great events and great opportunities for our athletes. Cheers to you guys. As you may notice, as we go on, some of these will get a little bit more difficult as we go because we have been drinking. So I feel very bad for when we get to best match of the year. Everyone here, for the amount of cheers that they've done, will probably be sauced. So we'll just say good job to them now and work our way toward that. As we are talking about great and memorable moments, we also want to talk about the submission of the year, and we are going to start with Kevin Bradley on this one. Kevin, you've got this.
I feel bad for everybody. I'm thankful. Thank you to Raph for letting me go first. I feel bad because everybody else has the objective wrong answer because it is not mine. The submission of the year can be nothing else aside from Dinu Bukalet's Ezekiel in the gi from inside closed guard at Polaris Squads in 2020. It was a thing of beauty. It was grace. It made me sprout wings and fly around my neighborhood after I saw it. But more importantly, to me, it meant a lot because the Ezekiel choke is my favorite choke of all time. It's the first choke I got a handle on in the gi. I was hitting it often, and it made me feel confident as a grappler. It was really important to me. But the problem was I was doing that thing where I was trying to hit it from everywhere, and every coach I ever had was like, Kevin, stop doing that. It's dumb. Don't do that. There's a time and a place for chokes. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I stopped believing in Santa. That was my mistake. And Dinu never stopped believing in Santa. He went out there, and he did the impossible. He did the thing that everyone was like, why you can't do that. He did it so well that afterwards, when I talked to him, he said a bunch of people gave him crap for it. High-level black belts. Well, guess what? Dinu, you are a champion, and now I'm going to hit Ezekiel's from every single ill-advised position ever. I don't know if they'll work, but I will try.
I want to continue this story, but here's where I need to go. So to the brown people on the bottom. I'm brown too. I can say what I want.
That was good. That was good.
I'm just a white guy, so I'm uncomfortable.
I will kick you off of this show. going to be a diversity quota, which is why you were here. Anyway. To get this straight, because the both of you have the same answer, so I almost feel like I should cut your time in half. So here's how it's going to happen. I'm going to put one of you on screen, and then one of you starts it, and then at one random point, I'm going to switch to the other one because you both picked the same one. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and surprise.
Oh my God, I'm honored. Well, here I am. My submission of the year has to go to Cade Rotolo, who inspired a nation to get off their couch and get on side control on their carpet and do it with their significant other. And when I mean do it, I mean drill the boogie choke.
Switching.
Submission of the year.
And I have to say, the way Kevin has a hard-on for Mason Fowler, I have a hard-on for Cade Rotolo's buggy choke.
Okay, no.
And cheers to that.
Legitimately, I had my concerns about either of you leading that cheer. I'm not cheering that because the work that both of you did, so both of you toast them, even though it got weird toward the end. I was cheering at that point, but that is more appropriate later on in the show. Yes, my submission of the year goes to that weird camel clutch thing that Mason Fowler did. Mason, I think you made a believer out of all of us because we've all gotten used to seeing EBI overtime get to be stall tactics, get to be crazy, get to be conventional, and yet you still blew our minds when you submitted Craig Jones with that incredibly, terrible-looking crank that if anybody tried after doing any kind of watching of that event knows it feels terrible. So you definitely broke some new ground, and hey, man, was very proud of you when you did that. So cheers. And from all of us, you shut up Craig Jones, which was fun. I know for sure Freddy he messaged me when he saw it, and he was just like, God, thank God somebody did that to him. So
It's about time somebody got him. He deserved it.
it's about time. That's what they say to criminals. It's like, you know what? They got what they deserved, okay? I'm glad justice found them. So we're coming down to the last ones here, the last sort of moments that we want to talk about, and these are like the big awards. These are the ones that don't have any prizes, but they have all the pride in the world, and I'm very excited to talk about these. So let's start with the very first one, which is Rivalry of the Year. How do we define that? Well, I mean, who did you have a rivalry with this year that made you say, man, I was interested to go back to social media and see where that may go, or I want to see that match, or, wow, that's really stupid, but I will watch it. We're going to go ahead and start right now with one, G-Baby.
I think you just fit on all the descriptions that you were explaining, and I had to go with Kyle Bain versus Gordon Ryan. You're talking about two heels, and you didn't know who to root for. And, I was rooting for my buddy Kyle, but at the same time, it was so much fun just seeing them talking shit to each other on Instagram. And I had to give them Rivalry of the Year. So cheers to you guys.
Oh, man. That was such a weird one, too. And, of course, the only way it could end was with Kyle doing mushrooms. When you think back to the way that you explain that to people in the future, you go, well, yeah, you had to be on mushrooms because it had to be Rivalry of the Year, right?
It's like the Jake Paul versus the Dylan Danis of Jiu-Jitsu right now.
It would just be so much easier for everybody if he got an easier, a more understandable to pronounce last name. Because I've seen it pronounced 18 different ways, and it's just it's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
Yeah, when I did commentary, I had to ask him 18 times. I was like, "Are you sure it's pronounced this way?"
And it's a different way every time. So you never know what you're going to do. You're rolling the dice.
I'm so glad that your approach was, it must be his name's fault, not my fault.
Yeah, no.
Let's go right now to Freddie. Freddie, what was your Rivalry of the Year?
Guys, it's clearly the most important rivalry in Jiu-Jitsu. Gordon Ryan, Andre Galvao, the battle for Jesus and Acai. This is it. It has been taken away from us due to COVID, but I believe it will happen. And if it doesn't, I'd be very disappointed. The constant back and forth is all great. The constant praise for Jesus, the constant praise for Acai. I love it. I want to see it. Biggest rivalry of 2020, Gordon versus Galvao.
It's going to be the biggest rivalry of 3 years running, I think.
Yeah.
I guess I'll ask this question. Do you think that Galvao is going to MMA, and will that have any effect on that match ever happening, Freddie?
He's going to MMA, really?
He seemed to be teasing it. That was one of the things that I saw on the internet, so it must be true.
I mean, all I gotta say is I hope he's working on his hands.
You might have seen it reported by some fringe outlet called the Jiu-Jitsu Times. So maybe go. Everyone interested in learning about that, go to jiu-jitsutimes.com.
I was legitimately, one, not trying to give you guys more traction, and two, not trying to take away any credibility you might be struggling to have. So, speaking of which, oh, come on. Everybody needs to take a piñata swing at Jiu-Jitsu Times at least once for the podcast. Well, having said that, you have one that you need to tell us. What is that rivalry, in your opinion, Kevin?
I'm going to sound like a broken record, and I don't care. I think Mason Fowler, Craig Jones was a really great rivalry. It had controversy in the weird decision-making by the ref in their first time out. It had a hero's journey and the redemption with the finish from Mason and their next going at it. And it led to what looks like a real dynasty showing for Mason in the SUG stage. He's defended the belt quite a few times. It looks like he's got a real lock on the rule set. And now he's the guy to beat. And there's more eyes going to him, going to the promotion because of him. It's creating more opportunity for some of the guys on the undercard. The event is just really coming together in a lot of ways. So, yeah, I think Mason Fowler, Craig Jones was a rivalry that ended up benefiting everybody. And also it never got to a point where it was like weird or sad. Like no one was saying things out of turn. It was a very respectful rivalry. So that's my pick for the rivalry of the year.
Well, cheers, but it did get sad for Craig.
I mean, yeah.
Cheers.
I mean, now Craig, all Craig has is like money and respect, and what's that worth?
Here's what I'll tell you.
But who wants that?
My actual rivalry of the year, and it took me a while to figure out what the rivalry was going to be. Like, who is going to get this prestigious, nice little acknowledgement here? And I thought about it, and I realized there's really only one clear winner. I know these guys have brought up other ones, but I think it's Gordon versus Common Sense. Literally throughout this year, we got to a point where we recognized and said, okay, Gordon's picked on homeless people? Sure. Gordon's picked on other grapplers? Why not? Kyle Bame? No problem. You guys go to war. That's fine. But when Gordon's like, trust me, everyone, on the coronavirus, I know things, that's when you say, you know what, dude? I think that's the journey I can't take with you. I think we're good on all of these things, but I don't think anybody really needs to take credit or pretend like they know what's going on when clearly all the rest of us are trying to figure it out as we go. And as much as he likes to take credit for the things that he thinks that he got right, still didn't. So anyway, kudos to you, Gordon, for finding some new absurd way to keep us vaguely entertained during a really, really terrible time for most people. So cheers to you.
Cheers.
Sorry, cheers to you, the new one percenter. I just wanted to make sure now that we say that out loud, because that's very important to denote as we say those things. On that, the first one in our last two categories is Grappler of the Year. A Grappler of the Year is going to go to the person that we think was indicative of doing the best work on the mats, even if they didn't win every single time. We're going to go ahead and start with G-Baby on this one.
So for Grappler of the Year, I have to go with Roberto Jimenez. He beat both Rutola brothers in one night, beat Nicky Rod, Dante Leon, gave Cyborg a crazy match. It has been a monster year for him, especially beating Keenan on the gi. So I have to give a cheers to Roberto Jimenez.
Let's keep the party going. Kevin, who do you have?
All right, well, no surprise. Professional of the year definitely has to go to Mason for reasons that I've exhaustively mentioned. But I also feel like I want to take some time. To shout out everybody who didn't quit. I feel like everybody who didn't quit jiu-jitsu this year deserves the title of Grappler of the Year because, listen, there are many reasons to quit the sport. It's very tough. It's grueling. The returns on investment come very stagnantly. It's very chopped up. So anyone who didn't take the easy out of just the coronavirus and who's take a break, obviously, but anyone who's actively working to come back and awaiting the day they can come back, I want to honor you guys because you guys are the Grappler of the Year, and you're going to keep this sport going. So Mason and everybody else who didn't quit.
All right, Freddie, who do you have? Do you have anything that uplifting? Because if not, I'm going to fast forward to the next one.
I mean, yeah, dude, my grappler year has to be Craig Jones. He did lose to everybody else's pick, Mason Fowler, twice, but very embarrassing way. But I will say that he did drop a CBD line, making him the sex icon of grappling, and then also switched it up from regular cheetah shorts to now snow leopard cheetah shorts. So, dude, super sick. Great work this year, Craig. Another year without a gold medal. Here it is.
I don't know that that's the best way to compliment him. Okay.
Dude, that's how we do
Snow
it.
leopard, bro.
Mine is pretty simple. I want to give some acknowledgement to this young man who is one, William Tackett. Last year, he was my grappler to watch. This year, he is clearly the grappler of the year. He's taken on every opportunity to grapple. And I think one of the funniest things about him is he doesn't talk shit. He doesn't do any of this nonsense. He literally just goes to work. And there's always something compelling to watch with what he's doing. And I think he conducts himself great. Him and his BFF squad over in Tejas made the pandemic a little bit more bearable every time we saw him headlining or having a super fight that made it very fun to watch. So all the respect in the world to that young man. I look forward to more things from him. Cheers to you, one young William Tackett. Now we're going to go to our final category. This one's a big one. This was essentially Best Picture. This one's essentially Best Album. All of those main categories on any other award show that mean absolutely nothing to anybody else, except the specialized individuals in which it pertains to. In this particular one, we're talking about Best Match of the Year. Everybody here has picked something that I think is pretty worthy of your time, your attention, and we're going to go and start with G-Baby first. G-Baby, what do you have as this year's Best Match of the Year?
I'm going to make Mike Kevin happy, and I'm going to go for Mason versus Jones, too. Well, the best way to end a rivalry is just beat them twice, man. So, cheers to you, Mason.
Good. All right, let's go on over to Freddie on this one.
Guys, my best match of the year opinion, I think it's going to have to be Gary Toner and Dante Leon. And when you read that tagline, you already know what it's going to be. Crazy scrambles, crazy submission attempts, crazy Gary Toner hairstyle, some good fashion, no-gi gear, which all made for an exciting match. A lot of good wrestling on the feet. That had to have been my match of the year, and that was on who's number one?
All right, Kev, what do you got first?
All right. Gonna shock everybody. Mason's not here. I think Cyborg Lovato Jr. 2, it happened closer to the beginning of the year, or Cyborg Lovato Jr. 3. We got to see the equivalent of two old battleships just engage in massive combat on the open seas. We got to see Lovato work incredible magic from the bottom. We got to see Cyborg killing it on the feet with foot sweeps. And we got to see two real legends do the things in jiu-jitsu they're very good at the highest level. And you knew that at any moment there could be a change in the wind for both of them. And this was also the win that I think kind of signaled that this was going to be Cyborg's year, which he was a very strong contender for my Grappler of the Year because he's just gone on a massive tear on Third Coast Grappling and other promotions. So I think this was an incredible match. You should go back and watch it if you missed it. But yeah, Cyborg Lovato Jr. 3. But after you're done with that, go watch some Mason Fowler matches because he's the best.
Stop. Dude, he's already been on your show. You don't need to do any more on that one. All right.
We need him to come back.
He's not coming back. He's becoming too famous for any of us.
That's true.
My match of the year, pretty simple. And here's why. When you look at these best match of the years, you can always go with the people who want to give you a big, grandiose one that you remember where it's dramatic. Say, Jones, Fowler, who had an epic rivalry that became a trilogy, that became something that was fun to watch. Mine was picked on almost a kind of symbolic passing of the torch, and here's why. I believe that you had a match between Ty Rotolo and one Roberto Jimenez. And that seemed to be one of those matches where you see that the future of jiu-jitsu is in good hands. Those two kids really put on a show at Third Coast Grappling, and I just want to acknowledge them not only for having a great match there, but then for showing us the kind of future that I think we're going to end up seeing for years to come, not only just within their weight division, but within the sport itself. So if we get to see more matches like the output that those two put out at that event, I think we're due for a lot more within the future. So cheers to those two gentlemen for putting it together and having an incredible match. And more importantly, for showing us that, yeah, even when we get out of this weird 2021, we're going to have some good shit to see. We're going to close up shop right now. I'm going to give each of these gentlemen an opportunity to go and plug their stuff so you can go hopefully follow them, listen to them, check out what they're doing. But we'll first and foremost start with our good friend G-Baby. G-Baby, where can people find your stuff?
So you can follow me at G_baby is not funny. My podcasts, I have 3. I have Cover Your Mouth, which is my solo one. I have Unemployed Commentators that I co-host with my comedian friend from Denver, Gary Miller. We just cover every sport, even tiddlywinks. So check us out there. And the podcast that I co-host with my coach, Nasty Nate Harris, Nasty and the Baby. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and other podcast platforms. And it's really an honor to share this panel with you guys. Thank you so much, and for everyone that's watching.
Appreciate it. Cheers, man. All right, let's go to you, Kevin Bradley. It's on you, sir.
All right, well, Raph, thanks again for allowing me to scurry like a rat onto your platform and hawk my stuff while taking up precious airtime that could be spent talking about important issues.
Get to it.
If you've enjoyed any of what I've brought to the table here, you can catch me alongside my podcast husband, Mr. Kevin Gallagher, on the Jiu-Jitsu Times Podcast, and also any of the articles we publish to the jiu-jitsutimes.com. And be on the lookout for our YouTube channel. We got a ton of great stuff coming down there this year once things open up a little bit more. If you want to see more of my beautiful face, you can follow me on Instagram at kbrads_BJJ. And also, for the few of you that might play Dungeons and Dragons, I offer my services as a for sale DM for one-shots. So hit me up through DMs on Instagram if you want me to run your campaign or something. You know, I'm open for business. So yeah, thank you again, Raph. I really appreciate it anytime I can come on here.
Of course. All right, Freddie, floor is yours, sir.
Well, I could have been anywhere in the world, but I was here, so you're welcome, Raph. Honestly, it's been a pleasure to be here with Baby, Gian, and my friend Kevin. It's been a fantastic time. You guys can find me on bjjworld.tv on Instagram, and just BJJ World on YouTube. We put a lot of news out, a lot of we didn't do a lot of documentaries this year because of COVID and stuff, but you can check some of our old work. And we also do a podcast we just started this year. It's called the Sunday Beers Podcast. You could look that up on Instagram. And if you want to listen, if you're more of a listener guy, you can find us anywhere you podcast. So go check it out, Sunday Beers Podcast.
We've had an incredible panel join us here today. And really, I know that you get a lot of these people who will give you their best of lists. Really, the whole point of these things should be to celebrate the best parts of grappling that we've seen in an incredibly difficult year. We hope that you're spending it well. We hope that you're healthy. We hope that you're being safe, whatever you're doing. But we appreciate you guys for giving us so much support, so much love. Please go listen to these guys. We brought them on for a reason. I always try to bring you guys the individuals, the podcasts, the hosts that I think are worth your time and admiration. And these guys definitely spent a lot of time going through their catalogs, going through their notes to come up with who they thought was worthy of recognition. Because sometimes, well, let's be real here, when they do these end of the year things, people don't get the recognition that they deserve. So we always try to button it up and do something fun. And we thought this year would be a great way to kind of end on a good and hopeful note, even though we thought we were done. If we were being honest, we thought we were done for the year, but we're not. But now we're done. So anyway, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here all year, for all of your continued support, your love. We appreciate it. Go support our sponsors, NogiBJJgear.com, Verbal Tap 15 to save 15% off whatever you put in your cart, plus DodgyCollective.com. Look at their amazing spats, their artwork, their rash guards, all of it. And then our good friends over at, what's the last one? That's right, Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Use the promo code VerbalTap20 and you're going to get 20% off. And that's good because your ball health, let me see here. Your balls will thank you is their tagline. That's really what they put on their thing. See, not lying. It's legitimately what they sent us. Your balls will thank you. So, and we thank you as well. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much. My name is Rafa Esparza. You're watching The Grappling Hour. Go follow us at any of these places right over here. Give us a 5-star review over on our Apple podcast page and give us subscriptions to everything else. And we appreciate you guys. Have a very happy and safe end of your year, and we'll see you in the new year. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats. Eventually.